Salam Sejahtera and a very good afternoon. Welcome to this afternoon program, Journey to Sustainable Development Goals atau SDG Success Story, hosted by Persatuan Pustaka Malaysia or better known as PPM. I am Chin Loy Jun. I have retired from the National Library of Malaysia in 2017, and now I'm a volunteer with PPM and also the secretary of the IFLA Management of Library Association section. Today, our program will be divided into two segments. The first segment of the program will focus on raising awareness on SDG stories and to inspire libraries and librarians in submitting their SDG stories to IFLA. I will also have a sharing session to highlight some guidelines on sharing success stories with IFLA. The second segment of this program will be two panelists, and they are Madam Hasnita Ibrahim from Bernama and Mr. Edison Ricket from Pustaka Negeri Sarawak. For the first section, story session, there will be no Q&A. For the second part of the segment with Madam Hasnita and also Mr. Edison, there will be a Q&A session after each of the panelists has presented their sharing. The sharing of these related to SDG to increase the interest of PPM to initiate initiative related to SDG. The question to the panelists can be posted in the Facebook. So I shall begin with my sharing of the of my session on success story with IFLA now. Okay, I'll begin with Journey to Sustainable Development Goals as success story. My sharing session will be on as shown in the slide. Next. The content of my sharing session today will be on United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, engagement scenario for Library Association, how library contribute UN 2030 agenda for sustainable development, and will highlight the 2022 priorities for SDG stories and what are the examples of SDG success story and how do we submit our content to IFLA. Next. The United Nations 2030 agenda. The UN 2030 agenda, also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, everybody or all people enjoy peace and prosperity and no one is left behind. Next. These are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, as you can see in on this slide. And the first slide on the top left-hand corner is actually the SDG logo. You can see the 17 colors in a round circle. And the 17th one, I think most of us are already aware of these SDG goals as it was first adopted already in 2015 and now it's 2022. It's already 7 years. This SDG has been with us, and we can see what are the 17 goals here. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitization, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduce inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institution and partnership for the goals. This will be explained further with the 194 targets that we have, 69 targets under each of these goals. Next. Before I go on, why is it that the Library Association is actively engaged in this SDG or the library map of the world? Because the IFLA has actually given the responsibility to the Library Association to be a contributor as well as a mediator for this library map of the world, which include SDG story. So actually, Libraries Association is the main contact for the Library Map of the World team for submission and curation. I've been in contact with the IFLA officer for SDG Story, Miss Christine, since 2019, when I first met her in the IFLA conference. In the last one, 2019, was in Greece, where I met her to explain to her our country profile and the statistics, and later it was uploaded. So it's where it begins as a main contact with the Library Map of the World team. We also collaborate with local partners and stakeholders within a country for content preparation and updating. So we collaborate, Library Association, with all the libraries, also the local agency and stakeholders to prepare SDG stories. And the third one is what we are doing today. The objective of our program today is to raise awareness about the library map of the world and its use within the national library field. So we want to raise awareness and also to inspire libraries in Malaysia and in the world to contribute to SDG stories. And we also act as a mediator between the Library Map of the World team and local libraries. That means the contributors of SDG stories, like for example, Pustaka Negeri Sarawak, for submission and during curation of stories. That means we help them how to curate the story, and we also help them in the submission of their information and also their supporting documents to IFLA. Next. How can library contribute to the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development? Next. As we can see here, we have the library map of the world. The library map of the world is an initiative by IFLA to ensure the availability of data, informations, and story that show the powerful contributions of libraries in supporting smarter and more inclusive society. This is the key to achieving the SDGs, and also library can be used the national materials from the library map of the world to improve their services. As we can see, we have SDG story on top here. We have country, the contributors, and about this library map of the world. Okay, so here we have this, which we will not be going into, because this is also what the Library Association of Librarian Association of Malaysia is contributing to. But today our focus is more on the SDG stories. So we go to the next slide. What actually, when we talk about SDG stories, SDG stories is about library activities. Our library activities, the project that we carry out or the program, and their impact on people's life and community that contribute to the achievement of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Here you see their impact. So actually all this activity, we must measure their impact, the outcome, not the output. Output is numerical. Impact, you must carry whether that's the important word here, the impact. And here we have some of this link where we can help us to curate our story and how we can actually submit our story, and the guideline for preparing our SDG stories. Next. What is actually storytelling? Storytelling is about engagement. It's based on solid evidence. When we talk about SDG story, it's actually based on solid evidence. we can win over hearts and mind and encourage people, and in particular politicians, funders, and other decision makers and influencers to give us their support. This is also part of our advocacy uh, action. Next. This is explore the SDG stories on the library map of the world. As you can see here, you can search the country on the map to find story from your country. Choose the SDG to see the relevant story. So the SDG are on top. You can click here to find out which SDG you are interested in, or you can click here the country that you want to choose to look like. You want to see whether Malaysia has any SDG story, you just key in Malaysia here, and then any stories that Malaysia has on SDG will appear. Okay, so you can actually find out here. So altogether in this library map of the world, in this SDGs stories, we have all stories for the 17 SDGs. Next. So again, the library map of the world, I want to show a better view of the library map of the world under the SDG story is the Sustainable Development Goals and Library. Okay, so this is what they said to contribute the outcome across all SDGs. Okay, so these are the 17 SDG goals, and as I mentioned earlier, at the moment we have 33 countries in the world contributing to 55 SDG stories. So the one that is in dark green are the country with SDG stories, okay? And those with all these, they have not actually have their SDG story sent to IFLA, or they have not been published yet. Okay, so Malaysia is here. So Malaysia has published their first SDG stories in February 2022. I'm also happy to inform that Malaysia actually contribute to all the three segments of the library map of the world in the SDG story, in the countries, and also the countries will be the country profile. That means you click here, there will be a profile on the countries on the libraries in Malaysia, which we update every year. And we also have contributors will be in terms of the statistics that the library collects in the for the libraries in their country. So these three segments, actually we are proud that Malaysia has all contributed to three segments of this library map of the world. Next. So how can library contribute to the United Nations 2030 agenda? We can see here it's quite small, but actually later on we will send this slide to all those who are interested or those who have registered to attend today's Facebook. We will put this up, how you can actually contribute to SDG by looking at all these how like SDG 1. If your library initiative they match any of these, then you can put this as your what you call your goals for your library initiative when you submit your SDG stories. There are actually 17 here. If you have partnership with the local authorities or with the community, then you put this as your SDG as one. Okay. If you have, like, for example, the most popular one will be with the SDG 4, where you have lifelong learning and reading program here. So this will be the one that you put if your library initiative or your SDG stories is about lifelong learning and reading. Okay. So if number 15 is on land or water, maybe you provide statistic to this water conservation or forestation, then you can put this as your SDG. Okay, you can actually look into each one and see which of your story match the what you call the targets here. Okay, next. So library map of the world, as I mentioned earlier, there are 33 countries and 55 SDG stories, and the library support all the 17 SDGs. So we can see here that the first one, the no poverty, we have 4, and then no hunger, we have 4. Then we have 10, and you can see the highest number is actually number 4, that is quality education, 39. Okay, this is where most of the library contribute, because in here, that is where we have all the reading programs and all the lifelong learning in this. That's why I think it's the highest. And also you have the second highest here is on collaboration, partnership. Because IFLA encourage all libraries to have collaboration with either the local authority, our community, with the local authority, the government, the either at the regional level or the state level or the national level or even with the local, the district level. So this is very important. When you do your SDG story, you must have partnership with other libraries or other institutions or NGOs or any other uh, relevant institution that is to your program. So 13, 4 and 17, you see that's the highest so far when they first started the SDG stories. Next. So the journey to SDG success story for Malaysia started in 2018. As you can see here, Malaysia was, I think, one of the most active contributor to the SDG stories when it first started. So you see, in 2018, we already submitted our first SDG story by this Kelantan State Public Library. So this is the title, Resource Center, the Sources of Human Inspiration. But somehow it has not been published yet. So we have contacted the Kelantan Public Library to maybe they have a new or revised information. We can forward this against to the to IFLA. IFLA also has already looked at it, and we will try to improve on it and send it over to IFLA. The second one we also contributed in 2019. 2019 is the one by Puan Hasnita Ibrahim from Bernama. This is called Picking Chilies in the Concrete Jungle, which was later revised to Punos River Urban Garden. So this time we have made some progress. Hasnita has, with her hard work, she has sent the revised information and supporting document. We have just sent it. Snita and me has done, and we have sent it on the 28th of March. And IFLA is looking into all the documents and the supporting materials on this project. The next one is on. We also sent two projects in 2019. A Little Knowledge, Million Hopes by Institute Technology Malaysia. We have also contacted UTM on this status on this project. We hope that this project also can be revised and be sent to IFLA. In 2020, we also had two projects been sent to IFLA. That is Free Food at USIM Library by University Science Islam Malaysia. This time we have actually taken off, and I've collaborated with USIM to send the revised and updated information and supporting document to IFLA. So IFLA has received all the document, and they say that they are currently preparing the narrative for the this project, for this SDG story. The last one is the successful SDG story from Malaysia that was submitted 30th March 2020 before the pandemic, and we managed to have it. Congratulations to Pustaka Negeri Sarawak and to Edison for the reading seat, which was published in the Library Map of the World on the 28th of February, just last month. And this is the link. Once you have your story published, you don't need to go through the Library Map of the World to go into your story. Straight away, they give you a direct link. So by going into this link, you'll be able to access this reading success story. So this will become like a training material. I mean, like something that you can learn from how you want to curate your story, what are the information you need to. So this one will become Malaysia, what you call example for submitting SDG stories. Okay, so IFLA has created a direct link to reading seat. Next. So this is the one that I'm saying, congratulations again, that Malaysia flag is on Library Map of the World. You can see they will put the map of the country that has contributed to the SDG. And this is the relevant SDG. We only have two, very simple. One is on 4, quality education, where we emphasize on reading and lifelong learning. And also the partnership, because this program we have a lot of partnership. Pustaka Negeri Sarawak had a lot of partnership with the local authority, with the community, and even you can see the face of the nurse here, okay, with the health authorities and the hospital. So that's what IFLA want, the partnership, okay. So this is our first SDG story we published in 2022, a very historical moment for us, okay. The next one, we go to the next slide. I will highlight, actually for IFLA, Even though we have 17 SDGs and libraries are encouraged to submit their story based on the 17 SDG, but they do have priorities for SDG story. What I mean by priorities here is priority is that every year they set priorities to the story. So if you submit in 2022 story pertaining to these five goals, you'll be given by that means IFLA will take this story first and then they will try to improve and see whether it's okay. Those that don't have this, they will not look at it yet. They will give priority to this 4, 5, 14, 15, 17. Okay, so they will have this as their priority for this year. So hopefully, those who want to submit their SDG stories will try to look for this that they go into quality education or gender equality, life below water, life on land, and partnership for the goals. These are the one that IFLA will be looking out for the SDG stories to be published in the Library Map of the World. In 2021, they also have priorities. There were more priorities. There were actually 9 priorities. This year only they have gone down to 5. Last year, we have priority number 1, number 2, number 3, number 8, number 10, number 12, 13, 16, and 17 as their SDG 2021 priorities. That's why those of us we submitted quality education in 2021, none were actually been taken up by IFLA for their publishing. So this year when we resubmitted our reading set, it's come under this quality action. So I think we are the first SDG story to be published this year in the Library Map of the World because we had this quality. We made the requirement for the 2022 priorities. Okay, so we actually need to know what are the priorities for IFLA for submitting SDG stories. Next. So I just want to just a very quick run through. When I mentioned about 169 targets for all the 17 goals, this is what I meant. So each goal, they have a few targets. Some may be more, some may be less. Like this quality education, they have 10. So for out of this 10, we are also with the education together. So actually we have 4.6. 4.6 actually more towards the library. That is universal literacy and numeracy. So this is the one that we will put. So we have to put not only 4 but maybe 4.6. We have to read carefully, and these are more towards the primary education on this supply of qualified teachers. This will be more for school and university. This is very direct to the libraries. Okay, 4.6. Okay, so those who want, so you will go into 4.6. Okay, for the quality education. Next. So these are some of the highlights or the examples of SDG stories using the SDG goal number 4. This is the Netherlands, the Book Start program. Actually, all these you can also access through the Library Map of the World under the SDG stories. I just pick up a few to highlight to you how you actually can do your SDG stories. As you can see, they highlight the people who are involved in the project, like the kids, like the babies and the mothers. Okay, so they usually take pictures of who are actually involved, not the people who are doing the work, not the libraries, but the people, like the babies and the mothers. Okay, so they even in the reading seat also, they take pictures of the nurse and the baby as their front page. Okay, number 4 is actually 4.6 is to ensure that all youth and sustainable proportion of adults, both men and women, achieve literacy and numeracy. So the SDG story is Dutch Book Start program enhances language development and leads to better education. So this is for the Dutch, okay, the Netherlands. Okay, next example. This is by Singapore. Singapore, by the way, has already 2 SDG stories been published in the Library Map of the World. Singapore and Malaysia are the only 2 countries in Southeast Asia so far that has their SDG story been published. So Singapore has this Singapore Kids Reads program. So this is also 4.6. The success story is Kids Read, empower children from lower income families with English language skill. So they give classes to this lower income family, how to improve their English language skill in the libraries. Okay, this lady could be a staff of the National Library Board or of Singapore, or she could also be a volunteer also as a facilitator. Okay, so the next one, we go to the next example. This is five, because five is also this year. This is this year also, this year gender equality is also IFLA priority for 2022. Another example of this Tunisia digital skill course for women. You can see this picture is all the women here, and maybe this is their one of the husband and the children holding them to the class. So it's achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. So the target is 5 B. Enhance the use of enabling technology, in particular information and communication technology, to promote the empowerment of women. So this one is Tunisian Library Digital Skill Course promotes opportunities for women. By having classes for women, I think we also have a lot of this program in Malaysia. We have a lot of program, reading program, digital skill improving. But I think it's not a problem or issue that we seldom document what we do, and we don't do impact study on what is the outcome. You only stop maybe at the output. We have 10 classes, and out of the 10 classes 500 people attended. Maybe we go by gender, 20 children, but that is not what IFLA want. When you submit your story to IFLA, they want evidence based. That means when this woman attended the classes, okay, there are 10 of them. What happened to them? Did they improve? Did they improve their digital skill? Yes, they learn how to do, for example, promote opportunity for women. They are able to do online marketing. They are able to sell their product. Maybe they bake cakes and all those, and they sell it through online. Or this woman using the ICT skill which they acquired from the libraries, they help their husband in doing their business. This is what they want, the impact evaluation. So IFLA actually give also priorities to stories submitted to them that already have done impact of the program that they have done. So also the outcome. They must have this information in the story they submitted. So we lack actually what you call documentation of our program. We have done thousands of programs, but we need documentation. We need to do evaluation of the program. Is the program effective? Does the program help the community that we target? Has it improved the livelihood of the people? So these are the things that we need to find out after we have done the program. Okay, so the next one is also another one. This is actually target on 14 and 15, the example, but they also include 4, 11, 13, and 14 and 15. So this is traveling libraries like mobile library, increase conservation literacy and awareness in the Galapagos Island. So they are more focusing on the land conservation and also the water in the conservation in the in the sea and all those things. So this one actually libraries can provide information on how to water management on land, and also see how we can do better fishing for the fishermen. All this we provide access to information to policymakers. This is our role in the libraries. Okay, so these are example of how you can actually contribute to the SDG stories in line with the 2022 priorities for SDG stories. Okay, we go next. How to tell your story. The last part is, after this we have to submit the content of the SDG story, our library initiative that we want to send to IFLA, to how to tell your story in a compelling, evidence-based storytelling. This is when I say storytelling, it must be evidence-based. It must be supported by statistics. It must be supported by pictures. It must be supported by videos or social media. These are the things that is called evidence-based or evaluation or impact studies. So this is evidence-based storytelling. Next. So this is the one, a catchy title. First, you must have a catchy title and not more than 10 words. Not more than 10 words. This only has 5 words. You say coding, coding for kids in library. What is actually coding? Coding is a computer programming, actually. But this coding is a word that is now used in the 21st century. So when you say coding, what is coding? Catch people attention. When you say computer programming, or this one just a normal type of article. So you see, you use that catchy word to let people, what is coding actually? So actually coding is actually computer programming for kids. So that's how you actually catch the people using a word to catch the attention of the readers, okay? And a strong opening. We must have just a paragraph of, should we draw the reader to continue to want to read what is the SDG story about. You have 29 who is involved in this, and why do you do it, and see, and the reason why this was done, why you have coding for kids, because they found out in Romania, this is in Romania, that they has the lowest digital skill. That's 85% they don't have this digital skill, compared to the whole of Europe, where the number is 50%. And if they don't do anything about it, by 2020, Europe will experience a shortage of more than 800,000 professionals. So that's why the libraries help this way by having classes for kids, computer programming classes for kids, and with some of the local partners. And they also identify who they want to focus their to help. They chose for 10 to 14 school kids, okay, so that for educational, because they are confident that in working with youth, and also for better communication. So that's the reason why they chose this. So we just write very short thing, just no need to be in a story, just factual form. This is what they want, a minimum ending, and also great illustration. Here you have showing the kids how to bring pictures and video to your story, to be to life, so people are interested in reading your story. Okay, next. So as I mentioned, this is all is this what I mentioned just now: a catchy title, a great story, a strong opening, effective scene setting, made the reader understand why the library action was necessary. As I mentioned, because they were very low digital literacy. That's why library help come in to help after education, or maybe in the school they don't cover it, so the library will help in the computer or digital literacy, and a clear narrative description of what the library did, and a meaningful ending, how the library action make a real difference to the people or the community that they have the program on. So for illustration, use pictures and video to bring your story to life. Okay, we go on to the next slide. This is same submission of information. Now also in 2021, last time IFLA asked us to send it in a story form. That means we have to be a story, we have to be a writer, a story writer. So now no more, because they found out that when you ask the people to send your information in a story form, it's very hard for us to write, because we are not writers. So what they now is just send your information, your fact only to them. Then they will curate. That's why they will do the narrative for us. If they don't understand what the information that we have sent to them, they will pose a number of questions. Each information you send, they will have a question for you. Where did the source come from? Is this a reliable source? What do you mean by this? No, they will give us, so we will give them feedback from there. That's how they do it now. So the SDG story is moving very fast now, because they have changed the process or the methodology of getting story. No more submitting in a story form, but just a factual. So what was the impact? Impact is outcome of the people. So next. And what are after you have done the curation, you have to put in the relevant SDG. What is your library initiative, and what relevant SDGs, and then a picture, videos. And the release will be in English. You will all be published in English. And then when it's published, they will ask you whether you want to translate your SDG stories into your own national language. Like for example, the reading seat, they want us whether to have it translated in the Malay language or Bahasa Malaysia. Yeah? So at the moment, we have not translated yet into the Malay language. And also post it into your communication video. Once this SDG story has been published, they encourage you to put into the social media posts and all our communication videos. That's how to use it as a tool to encourage more people, inspire more people to write SDG stories. Next. So this is the Google form that the Librarian Association of Malaysia has created. Actually, there is a standard form, an online form for us, where the form, when you key in, you will directly submit to IFLA. So Hasnita has actually, based on the form that IFLA has created, we come out with a Google form. Can go into the Google form, Farah? So instead of going straight to submitting straight to IFLA, we will come up with STT stories and we will send it to pustakaan55gmail.com. That is the PPM email address. We will send to them and then we will have a look first. That means PPM, like myself and maybe Hasnita or what, we will to look at these what you have done, and maybe we can help you to improve, or maybe it's in the Malay language, we can help you to put it into the English language. So this is the form that you just fill in and then you send to Persatuan, and then Persatuan will help you to fill it in the online form that IFLA has prepared for us to submit the story. Okay, so this will be given sent to all of the libraries after the program, this form. Okay. And you also, if you want to look at the online form, I've also put it in my earlier slide in this presentation. Okay. So, okay, that is, I think, roughly, I mean, how to actually submit your SDG story. Yeah? Okay. So, to that, I end my session today, and I'll continue with the second part of the program where we have two panelists for this afternoon program. We have Hasnita Ibrahim, as I mentioned earlier, and also Mr. Edison from Pustaka Negeri Sarawak. So, Hasnita will be presenting on this topic on Bunus River urban garden. So before I begin, Hasnita, I will give a short biodata of Hasnita. Hasnita is the everybody know Hasnita, yeah. Hasnita is very active in the library field, and also she has contributed a lot to the library and library development. I should say in not only in Bernama but also for PPM and also for all the libraries. Okay, Hajar Hasnita, she works as an information manager at the Digital Library at the Malaysian National News Agency, or Bernama. Has 26 years of working experience, graduated with a Master of Library and Information Science from University of Malaya and a Bachelor of Library Science from UiTM. She was the immediate Vice President one of the of the Librarian Association of Malaysia, and she has done numerous job or responsibility carry out like training, like benchmarking visit, doing certificate program for assistant librarians, and currently she's very actively involved in three programs. That is the Kuala Lumpur World Book Capital 2020, and also she was also involved in the National Committee for the IFLA WLIC 2018, which until today, I just had some Zoom meeting with people from from IFLA and they still mention about our 2018 World Book, our IFLA WLIC. They still praise us. They say it was the best conference they've ever attended. They always give very good memories and very good remarks. Even 4 years later, when we had held the conference, was still good memories for them and good remarks. And thank you for all our librarians that worked very hard to ensure the success of this WLIC. And the last one we are working now is the Malaysian Skills Certificate Initiative, where Hasita and myself will be attending an online course for 2 days online to actually to help to certify some of the assistant librarian to a better skill in their for better in their career development. Okay, so at Bernama, she coordinates digital news project, exhibitions, service usage training, reading promotion activities, library marketing, and also 3B campaign. That means Read with Bernama, Children's Club, Mini Carnival, Let's Read Together 10 Minutes, and also coloring therapies and others. She's also an active member of the Public Service Advisory Partner, Akrab. She's currently the secretary of the Sungai Bunus Urban Garden Committee, bernama as Sungai Bunus Urban Garden, and assistant secretary of the Training and Capacity Training Leadership Working Committee of the Kuala Lumpur Local Agenda 21 Urban Neighbourhood Garden. Because of her interest in gardening activities, she's actively involved with urban garden activities during starting in 2018. Without further ado, the floor is yours, Puan Asnita.
Okey, terima kasih Puan Chin. Selamat petang kepada semua. Pertamanya saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada penganjur iaitu Persatuan Pustakawan Malaysia kerana sudi menjemput saya untuk berkongsi inisiatif rakan-rakan saya di kebun dalam program Journey to SDGs Success Story dengan tajuk Kelestarian Kebun Bandar Sungai Bonus. Okey, inilah rupa bentuk kebun bandar Sungai Bonus di tengah bandar Kuala Lumpur. Kalau kita lihat di bahagian yang tertutup tu ialah bahagian pokok ni, ini adalah Sungai Bonus dan di sinilah terletaknya kebun bandar Sungai Bonus yang mana bermula dengan lot pertama sehingga ke hujung ada 10 lot. Okey, apa yang saya ingin kongsi pada petang ini ialah sedikit mengenai Local Agenda 21 Kuala Lumpur, LA 21 Kuala Lumpur, KL. Jadi kalau kita semua sebut LA 21 KL, saya harap rakan-rakan ataupun ahli PPM akan tahu apa itu LA 21 KL dan kemudian saya akan bercerita sedikit mengenai kebun bandar Sungai Bonus yang akan menyentuh mengenai how, when, who, where, why dan what. Ini menepati kepada kehendak IFLA yang mana kita perlu menjelaskan perkara-perkara ini untuk mereka menerima story kita. Seterusnya sedikit impact, itu yang penting juga. IFLA inginkan impact. Apa sahaja yang kita lakukan seperti Puan Chin sebut tadi, kita kekurangan inisiatif untuk mengukur kejayaan program kita. InsyaAllah kita akan memperbaiki lagi cara kita menjalankan aktiviti dan juga melihat impact dia terhadap masyarakat, terutama kepada masyarakat lah, bukan hanya pengguna perpustakaan kita. Okey, seterusnya cabaran, foto-foto sedikit aktiviti, rancangan selepas COVID-19 walaupun kita dah di fasa endemik dan juga rumusan. Okey, seperti yang kita tahu SDGs mempunyai 17 matlamat atau 17 goals yang mana ini antara yang kami sentuh lah. Jadi semasa pembentangan saya pada petang ini saya akan menyentuh mengenai SDG nombor 3, nombor 4, nombor 6, nombor 11, 15 dan 17. Saya rasa ini juga adalah keutamaan yang diminta oleh IFLA pada tahun ini. Okay. So seperti yang saya maklumkan tadi, sedikit mengenai Local Agenda 21 di peringkat dunia ya. Ini merupakan deklarasi Earth Summit di Rio de Janeiro, Brazil pada tahun 1992 yang melibatkan pihak berkuasa tempatan di seluruh dunia yang mana ia akan berkait dengan masyarakat setempat, sektor swasta, kerajaan dan badan bukan kerajaan. Di apa yang diutamakan atau di-highlightkan di dalam Local Agenda 21 ini ialah pembangunan dari aspek sosial, ekonomi dan juga alam sekitar. yang mana ketiga-tiga ini memang berkaitan dengan kebun bandar Sungai Bonus. Jadi di Malaysia, Dewan Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur, jadi bahagian lokal agenda 21 Kuala Lumpur yang bertanggungjawab untuk menggerakkan inisiatif ini. Okey. Seterusnya, kebun kejiranan bandar Kuala Lumpur ini terletak di sekitar Kuala Lumpur dan mempunyai 35 tapak kebun setakat ini sehingga Mac 2022. Jadi bagaimanakah cara kita bergerak ialah dengan bantuan daripada LA21 Kuala Lumpur. Mereka menawarkan kepada organisasi penduduk tempatan, penduduk sekitar, tanah-tanah yang terbiar, dan mereka menawarkan LA21 ini menawarkan mereka untuk membangunkan kawasan tersebut. Jadi terpulanglah ada yang di tebing sungai, ada yang di kawasan sekitar perumahan mereka. Jadi LA21 KL juga akan bekerjasama juga dengan JPS, TMB dan lain-lain untuk membangunkan atau membantu pemegang taruh untuk membangunkan tanah tersebut. Oleh itu pemegang taruh tidak memiliki tanah tersebut tapi mereka boleh mengusahakan atau membangunkan tanah tersebut. Next. Okay, how? Okay, bagaimana? Tadi saya sebut pasal Local Agenda 21 Kuala Lumpur di bawah Dewan Bandaraya Kuala Lumpur di BKL dengan bantuan daripada Jabatan Parit dan Saliran sebagaimana kami di tebing Sungai Bonus, River of Life, organisasi kerajaan, sektor swasta, NGOs dan individu bekerjasama menjadikan tanah yang di tebing sungai, kawasan Sungai Bonus ini, kawasan yang gersang menjadi sebuah taman komuniti atau kebun komuniti dan tapak rekreasi untuk orang ramai. Jadi dengan kita juga boleh mendapat bantuan dan dana daripada pertubuhan yang berasaskan pertanian, kerajaan atau swasta untuk membangunkan dan menyelenggara kebun bandar. Jadi untuk usaha itu kami pemegang taruh telah mewujudkan satu jawatankuasa KBSB untuk menyelia aktiviti dan program kebun. Next. Okay, jadi tanah gersang itu telah ditukar kepada kebun bermula pada tahun 2014 dan diusahakan oleh Tuan Haji Ahmad Samsul Bahari yang mana beliau merupakan pemilik expression professional streets. Jadi beliau sekarang ini menjadi penasihat kepada kebun bandar Sungai Bonus dan pengerusi jawatankuasa kebun bandar Sungai Bonus ialah Dr. Nurul daripada UTM. Jadi kalau kita lihat di sini ada yang masih lagi pemegang taruh yang bersama-sama dengan kami tapi ada yang juga tidak lagi bersama. Jadi kalau kita lihat pada tahun 2021 ada beberapa pemegang taruh yang sekarang ini bergerak aktif dengan KBSB. Jadi kalau kita lihat bangunan yang pertama yang tinggi itu ialah Expression, sebelahnya ialah Bernama dan juga Perpustakaan Negara dan kita berada di seberang sungai di hadapan KBSB. Next. Okay. Jadi seperti yang saya sebut tadi, tebing Sungai Bonus, kita juga mewujudkan laman sesawang kita sendiri dan boleh diakses physically dan juga online dan juga kita mempunyai Facebook Kebun Bandar Sungai Bonus dan juga promosi dibuat melalui media sosial. Setiap aktiviti yang kita jalankan, kita akan rakamkan foto, kita akan buat video dan kita akan menyebarkan kepada ahli-ahli kebun untuk untuk mengetahui aktiviti kita. Okay. Kalau kita lihat ini tebing sungai tu kita biarkanlah supaya ada rumput-rumput tu supaya datangnya serangga, datangnya burung, bangau, sebagai ekologi kita lah di kawasan ini. Dan sungai ini akan menjadi penuh apabila hujan lebat. Jadi sebelah belakang kawasan tu ialah tadahan Sungai Bones. Tadahan masa banjir. Okay, next. Okay, inilah suasana kalau kita lihat. Gambar yang pertama tu ialah jalan di depan kebun bandar kita. Jadi sebab tu kita senang membuat aktiviti kerana kita ada satu kawasan yang luas. Bukanlah luas tapi kita bolehlah memuatkan kemah 10x10 dan juga boleh juga memuatkan kemah 20x20. Dan di sini kita memastikanlah bukan hanya pokok-pokok tanaman yang boleh menghasilkan buah-buahan tetapi juga kita menanam pokok-pokok bunga-bungaan agak untuk mencantikkanlah suasana ini. Yang pertamalah yang dimiliki oleh lot pertama itu Syafiza. Next. Okay, ini adalah macam kita ada store kat sini supaya kita boleh letak barang-barang kebun kita. Kita ada gazebo di sini dan di bahagian atas gazebo ni dia letakkan buku-buku juga dan kita ada little free library. Kita ada 3 little free library di kebun kita. Jadi itu yang menyebabkan salah satu matlamat kita ialah untuk meningkatkan budaya membaca. Dan ini adalah antaranya kebun bernama lah. Okay, next. Kalau kita lihat di sini, waktu hujan yang lebat, I think tahun ini juga, tapi alhamdulillah air itu tidak naik ke kebun lah. Inilah risiko yang kita akan hadapi. Dan waktu malam juga sangat cantik dan kita akan melihat bangunan-bangunan yang mempunyai cahaya yang indah. Dan insyaAllah kalau ada rezeki boleh datang. Tapi jangan masa banjir lah, datang semasa aktiviti kebun bandar Sungai Bones. Okay, next. Okay, ini ada who, siapa yang menjadi tulang belakang kepada aktifnya kebun bandar Sungai Bones ni ialah lot pertama ialah Sekebun Cinta Syafiza. Saya rasa ada di kalangan kita, ramai antara kita yang kenal pada Syafiza. Sebab itulah di kebun kita selalu dia adakan aktiviti makan-makan. Kerana ada tukang masak di sini. Okay, seterusnya PPM, juga NGO bernama, kita ada Koperasi Komuniti Seri Perlis yang berada di sebelah sahaja kebun ni. Mereka ini memang berjaya lah. Jadi kita jemput mereka untuk memeriahkan lagi kebun bandar kita. Jadi seterusnya UTM, memang UTM pun dah lama bersama dengan KBSB, Universiti Islam Antarabangsa dengan madu keduduknya, MBBY juga satu NGO yang berkaitan dengan pembacaan dan buku. Okay, jadi Persatuan Belia Seri Cempaka juga kita jemput kerana mereka juga telah berjaya dengan tanaman dan banyak memenangi anugerah. Okay, Yayasan Petrot Negara memang pun dah lama sangat aktif mereka ini, dan juga Tok Wan Nasib Bendang. Okay. Okay, jadi why? Kenapa? Salah satu daripada objektif utama adanya KBSB ni ialah mestilah untuk menggalakkan aktiviti pertanian. Ada di kalangan kita mungkin tidak mempunyai tanah di rumah masing-masing dan minat berkebun. Jadi sini bila kita datang ke kebun, kita boleh bercucuk tanam. Jadi dengan adanya tanaman-tanaman itu, kita menggalakkan pengeluaran pelbagai jenis tanaman. Di KBSB ada sawi, ada kangkung, ada cili, ada serai, semuanya kita boleh guna untuk ambil dan harvest untuk kegunaan harian kita. Dan seterusnya mempelopori pengetahuan dan kemahiran tentang pertanian. Jadi dalam setiap aktiviti kita akan menyuntik elemen pendidikan kepada ahli-ahli. mereka akan tahu mengenai cara penanaman yang betul dan sebagainya. InsyaAllah saya ialah pengusaha kepada latihan di LA21, jatuh kuasa latihan. Jadi nanti kita akan hantarlah juga ahli-ahli kebun untuk menjalani latihan. Okey, seterusnya meningkatkan amalan gaya hidup sihat dengan sudah pastilah kita pergi ke kebun, kita berkebun, kita akan menjadi kesenaman untuk kita, dan juga kita ada track untuk berjogging dan juga untuk berbasikal. Jadi nombor 5 inilah yang SDG yang nombor 11 ke, yang mana kita meningkatkan kerjasama antara masyarakat setempat dengan pihak berkuasa tempatan, pihak-pihak organisasi kerajaan dan swasta, bukan hanya di kalangan pemegang taruh tetapi di kalangan ahli-ahli dalam pemegang taruh. Okey, okey, kita tanam semua. Kita sebut je apa yang kita tanam. Okey, mungkin kita tanam pokok yang bercirikan herba, sayur-sayuran sudah pasti, buah-buahan kita ada, mungkin kita tidak, pokok rambutan kita belum besar lah, tapi kita ada nenas, kita ada kelapa, kita ada pelbagai lagi, dan bunga-bungaan. Bunga-bungaan ni kita guna untuk mencantikkan lagi kebun. Jadi seperti yang saya sebut tadi, aktiviti kita akan menerapkan unsur pendidikan, persaudaraan, riadah, bekerjasama dan juga amal. Nanti saya elaborate sedikit mengenai itu dalam pembentangan saya. Jadi okey, kita next. Okey, apa aktiviti kita? Pastilah kita menyelenggara kebun. Kalau ada kebun, mesti ada aktiviti menyelenggara, menyiram, mendebas, membaja, mesti buat gotong royong dari masa ke semasa untuk mengemaskan kebun. Kita bertanam pokok-pokok makanan dan pokok hiasan, beriadah, memasak, aktiviti masak ya, sebab kita ada chef tadi. Jadi kita boleh masak, kita buat demonstrasi memasak dan menanam. Jadi kita panggil pakar-pakar dalam bidang pertanian tu untuk memberi penjelasan pada kita bagaimana cara untuk kita menjadi seorang yang lebih pandai, mempunyai ilmu dan kemahiran dengan pertanian, aktiviti membaca dan juga rakaman ulasan buku. Oleh kerana cantiknya kebun kita tu bukan hanya ada pokok-pokok dan bangunan-bangunan tinggi, dan ada juga sungai. Okay, kita adakan terapi mewarna untuk pembelajaran sepanjang hayat, mewarna, bercerita dan pelbagai aktiviti untuk kanak-kanak dan juga orang dewasa. Kita akan menambah kemudian dari semasa ke semasa, oleh kerana kita berasaskan tadi sukarelawan juga ya. Jadi masing-masing rasa ingin menyumbang, buat setara ni masing-masing memainkan peranan, kerana setiap ahli kebun atau pemegang taruh ini mempunyai kekuatan masing-masing. Mempunyai kekuatan masing-masing, kita bekerjasama sama lain, sebab itulah kita berjaya walaupun kita tidak ada dana yang tetap. Jadi kita ada projek-projek tertentu, kita akan bawa ke kebun, perkongsian ilmu. Kita pernah mengadakan webinar juga di kebun, dan juga program agihan berlambuk, buka puasa dan jamuan raya. Jadi kebun ini terletaknya di tengah bandar, terletak di pinggir Sungai Bonus, besarnya seluas 0.7 ekar. Pencapaian kebun ni, kami pernah memenangi anugerah kebun kejilanan Bandar Kuala Lumpur pada tahun 2019, anugerah khas juri pelibatan komuniti kebun kejiranan, 3 bintang, dan doakan kalau kita akan lebih baik, dan mana tahu ada pertandingan tu lagi di masa depan, kita akan boleh dapat 4 atau 5 bintang. Okay. Ini adalah hasil tanaman. Kita ada serai, kita ada pokok pisang, keledek, kita ada bayam Brazil, kita ada cendawan, tiram, kita ada sayur-sayuran, kita ada, sebut sajalah makanan, kata makanan dapur tu, kebanyakan memang adalah ada kangkung, kita ada daun pandan, yang biasa kita gunakan lah. Kita juga berjinak dengan roselle. Kita boleh masak air roselle tu dan hidangkan kepada mereka yang melawat ke kebun kita. Kita ada betik dan sebagainya. Kita aktiviti membaca juga diadakan. Kita ada buat rakaman, ulasan buku di kebun. Okay, next. Jadi kita aktiviti menyiram ni memanglah kalau cuaca sangat panas, mesti kena menyiram setiap hari. Jadi inilah yang pemegang taruh ataupun sukarelawan datang membantu untuk menyiram pokok. Okay, next. Okay. Aktiviti menyiram, menyelenggara, kita kena selalu pastikan tidak naik rumput. Lepas tu sekarang ni pihak DBKL dan pihak JPS juga telah memotong rumput secara berkala di kebun kita. Kalau kita lihat, kita pun sendiri ada yang memotong rumput di kebun ini. Okay, next. Masak dan makan, itu sangat sesuatu yang pentinglah bagi kami. Kalau berjumpa tu Sabtu ke Ahad melalui grup WhatsApp, kita kata besok kita akan turun, dan adalah beberapa orang yang akan turun. Sebab tu dalam aktiviti di kebun kami yang seronoknya ialah kita tidak ada paksaan. Siapa yang masa terluang, boleh panggil kawan-kawan dan saudara mara untuk datang ke kebun. So kita pun buat potluck lah, ataupun di masa ni kita memasak. Okay, insyaAllah. Okay, pelawat oleh kerana kebun ini dah semenjak tahun lepas, kebun ini dah menjadi lebih kemas dan teratur, dah terancang pentadbirannya. Makanya ramai pelawat yang datang, dan pihak LA21 KL juga kalau ada majlis-majlis ataupun pelawat daripada negeri-negeri lain, pihak berkuasa tempatan, mereka selalu akan membawa ke KBSB. Ini pelawat, ada satu geng memang dia jogging waktu pagi, mereka datang melawat. Kadang dia orang berhenti di kebun kita yang naik basikal. Yang ini timbalan KSU masa tu dia datang, KSU Kementerian Wilayah, tapi sekarang dia jadi ketua KPRTM. Okay, next. Ada pelawat daripada Majlis Perbandaran Sabah, daripada Johor. Kalau lihat, kita akan juga daripada tadi tu guru-guru di Pusat Sumber Johor. Okay, ini Menteri Wilayah pun pernah datang. Datuk Bandar pun alhamdulillah dah sampai, dan juga pelawat-pelawat dari kawan-kawan. Kalau kadang kita ada sesiapa je yang melawat tempat kami, DTM ke bernama, kita akan bawa ke kebun. Jadi aktiviti gotong royong ni kita akan adakan dari masa ke semasa, dan juga ada kita mengadakan aktiviti. Okay, next. Jadi ini juga akan menyebabkan kita mempunyai kesihatan lebih baik, kerana kita macam exercise jugalah kalau kita buat gotong royong ni, keluar peluh kan, dan juga kita boleh merapatkan silaturahim antara kita sesama kita. Okay, jadi ini adalah aktiviti membersih sungai kerana KBSB ini bersebelahan dengan sungai. Kita dah buat beberapa kali aktiviti untuk membersih sungai. Kita kolaborasi dengan pihak lain. Ini US Embassy ni. Okay, jadi kita juga letak maklumat mengenai khasiat. Jadi bila mereka tahu khasiatnya tanaman ni, mereka akan rasa lagi nak makan makanan yang berkhasiat. Kebanyakan kita memang menanam makanan-makanan berkhasiat, kita buat kompos, kita setiap kali aktiviti kita mesti adakan senam robek, dan juga pastilah kita akan menghidangkan makanan. Sama ada kita memasak di situ ataupun kita membawa makanan ke KBSB. Ya, ini adalah satu pencapaian kita yang terkini lah. Kita mulakan daripada bulan September tahun lepas. Jadi kita mengadakan aktiviti, alhamdulillah kita mengadakan aktiviti bulanan. Jadi yang pertama sekali ialah dianjurkan atau dihostkan oleh LA21 KL. Jadi mereka bawa daripada duta Sweden datang ke tempat ni, dia buat pembersihan sungai dan banyak lagi. Kita buat dia panggil vlogging, lepas tu kita buat gotong royong juga, kita buat jualan anak pokok, kita buat zumba, kita buat pelepasan ikan di kolam, macam-macam lagi, derma, buku dan pelbagai lagi. Jadi bila kita buat sesuatu, masa ini aktiviti yang semua orang juga akan contribute aktiviti masing-masing pemegang tarikh. Tapi yang pentingnya hostnya ialah LA21 KL. Okay. Sempena sambutan Hari Sungai Sedunia. Keduanya ialah PPM sendiri juga kita mengadakan aktiviti pada hari tersebut. Kita ada buat mewarna, kita buat zumba, juga kita jualan anak pokok. Okay, next. Yang ketiga pada bulan November, yang September, Oktober ini November, MBBY juga mengadakan pelbagai aktiviti yang pentingnya bercerita, lifelong learning, bercerita, mewarna, dan juga Chef Fiza juga membuat demonstrasi memasak. Okay. Bertemakan Hari Kanak-Kanak Sedunia. Okay. Jadi pada siri 4 pula, UIAA dengan Madu Kelulutnya, istimewanya Madu Kelulut telah mengadakan program pada 26 Disember 2021. Jadi dia menjemput pelajar dan juga membuat demonstrasi pelbagai produk Madu Kelulut. Okay, next. Siri 5, Jom Kebun yang bernama menjadi tuan rumah. Kita juga membuat kita juga membuat beberapa demonstrasi bot, seperti bot yang mana kita gunakan semasa banjir yang kita baru beli, dan kita juga menanam pokok di lot bernama. Okay, seterusnya kita ada siri 6. Ini yang kita buat rewang hidangan gulai kawah daun pisang, yang mana KP RTM turun, dan juga kita buat suasana macam kampung, yang mana rindukan kampung, datang sini kita buat, kita masak di sini dan juga kita makan bersama-sama. Okay, next. Siri 7 yang terakhir baru ni ialah dianjurkan oleh Seri Cempaka, yang mana mereka memberi buku dan juga beg sekolah dan juga voucher pakaian, beg sekolah temanya. Jadi semua orang pemegang taruh memainkan peranan mereka. Jadi mereka akan menjadi host pada setiap bulan, tapi kita pemegang taruh yang lain juga membantu untuk menjayakan program. Okay, next. Okay, ini antara gambar-gambar kita yang dululah, ini masa pelancaran kebun badar bernama. Okay, next. Okay, kita buat pelbagai aktiviti tanaman. Okay, next. Jadi ini kita buat aktiviti membaca, ulasan buku. Kadang-kadang orang singgah pun kita ajak dia orang membaca. Okay, next. Okay, aktiviti memetik cili yang mana dipetik oleh ahli-ahli pemegang taruh. Okay, next. Ini pelancaran Little Free Library. Kita ingin memasukkan entiti pendidikan di dalam kebun badar Sungai Bondes ini. Oleh itu kita adakan Little Free Library. Okay, next. Dan kita dah ada 3 Little Free Library. Dan setiap aktiviti kita seperti yang saya nyatakan tadi, kita ada buat zumba dan kita buat memasak dan makan-makan. Okay, next. Kita ni lelongan anak pokok terapi warna, yang ini adalah dijalankan oleh UTM dan kita bantu jugalah penganjurannya. Okay, next. Okay, UTM memang sangat aktif sebelum COVID dahulu. Jadi saya rasa setiap bulan mereka ada aktiviti. Jadi mereka menjemput pelajar ke kebun untuk mereka berkongsi teknik-teknik teknik-teknik penanaman dan juga bukan penanaman lah, berkaitan dengan alam sekitar juga, dengan sungai dan segalanya. Okay, next. Okay, inilah UTM punya kebun. Okay, next. Okay, ini masa hari raya, kita potluck, bawa makanan. Okay, next. Okay, ini apa ni, Patriot, dia mengajak tetamu mereka. Okay, next. Okay, ini kita bergabung ataupun join aktiviti River of Life. Okay, next. Kita membawa basikal di sepanjang Sungai Bones. Okay, ini Persatuan Malaysia, pelbagai aktiviti yang kita jalankan dan kita telah merasminya pada 26 Disember 2020. Terutama kita rasmikan kebun dan juga kita punya Little Field Library. Okay, next. Dan Little Field Library kita berada juga di peta dunia dengan nombor M107-533. Okay, next. Ini aktiviti masak lagi. Okay, next. Kini webinar yang kita adakan juga di kebun, walaupun ialah kita mempunyai kekangan dari segi talian lah kan, tapi alhamdulillah berjaya kita lakukan buat FB Live. Okay, next. Okay, ini adalah agihan berlambut yang kita berikan kepada jiran-jiran sekitar kebun kita. Okay, impak dia. Okay, samalah, saya rasa saya dah sebut semasa pembincangan saya tadi. Dari aspek sosial, kita menarik minat mereka menanam, sikap sukarelawan. Jadi apabila kita bersama-sama tu, kita akan wujudkan persekitaran lebih selesa, harmoni dan komitmen berasaskan komuniti dan berkaitan dengan pertanian, alam sekitar dan juga ialah kita mementingkan kebersihan sungai dan segalanya. Jadi bila kita bersama-sama itu, kita akan rasa gembira dan kita akan membuatkan networking di antara ahli, di antara dengan organisasi-organisasi lain. Dengan adanya aktiviti juga meningkatkan kerjasama. Jadi nak menjalankan atau menjalankan satu aktiviti, tak boleh kita bergerak secara solo, kita bergerak secara berkumpulan. Jadi kesihatan pun dia dengan adanya aktiviti berzumba, menanam, kita berjogging juga, kita naik bicycle, semuanya kita akan boleh meningkatkan kesihatan kita. Kita boleh mengambil makanan bebas racun. Dengan aktiviti menanam kita juga boleh menyumbang kepada rendah karbon dan juga mengurangkan stres sebagai terapi. Dari segi ekologi pula, kita menyumbang kepada alam sekitar yang seperti saya cakap tadi. Kita berharap supaya burung tupai beramai belalang dan pelbagai serangga akan berkunjung juga ke kebun kita. Of course, dengan adanya kebun tu kita merasa gembira, bangga dengan alam sekitar kita. Dari segi ekonomi, kita menggalakkan aktiviti jualan anak-anak pokok dan juga produk-produk berkaitan dengan pertanian dan lain-lain. Dan juga insyaAllah kalau ada rezeki, kita akan cuba jana pendapatan lah. Tapi buat setakat ni kita hanya menggalakkan aktiviti penjualan, pendidikan. Seharusnya kita dengan adanya aktiviti yang mana kita memanggil pakar-pakar dalam pertanian itu, meningkatkan pengetahuan, kemahiran dan juga mereka ini menanam di rumah juga dengan ilmu dan kemahiran yang mereka pelajari di kebun. Jadi meningkatkan minat dan tabiat membaca dengan ada Little Field Library, dan juga nak meningkat minat terhadap kepentingan pertanian, penjagaan alam sekitar, kualiti air dan juga sadan air dan sungai lah secara umum. Okay, next. Okay, cabaran dan isu ni kalau nak cerita memang panjang, tapi tak apa, saya pendekkan. Kerana pemegang taruh ini bukan penduduk setempat, makanya kita terikat dengan polisi organisasi kita terikat dengan masa kesibukan kerja. Jadi itulah kadang-kadang kita menghadapi sedikit cabaran dan isu dari segi penyelenggaraan kebun. Jadi dari segi masa, tenaga dan kos, kerana kita tidak ada dana yang tetap. Tapi alhamdulillah kerana sikap kesukarelawan ini kita telah dapat membangunkan dan menyelenggara kebun ini dengan baik. Dan kita cuba melihat yang perkara-perkara baik saja. Jadi komitmen masa lah tadi daripada sukarelawan. Lepas tu faktor menggalak kalau kita apa yang nak galak kita turun. Jadi kalau misalnya macam UTM dulu dia kata kalau sekali turun dia anggap sekali berkursus. Itu satu faktor penggalak juga. Okey, kemudahan asas kita bukan kata ada jugalah masa kita kekurangan kemudahan asas. Kita perlukan tanah, kita perlukan baca, tapi tak ada masalah. Dari masa ke semasa kita boleh meminta. Tapi kadang-kadang kita kehabisan kemudahan asas tersebut. Jadi kadang-kadang kita mendapat bantuan daripada pihak-pihak organisasi kerajaan atau swasta yang berasaskan pertanian. Tapi juga berlaku kecurian. Kita pernah dicuri kita punya pemotong mesia rumput, kita pernah dicuri barang-barang kebun, kita pernah dicuri kemah. Jadi sebabkan tempatnya terbuka. Jadi keselamatan tu termasuk dari segi dicuri oleh keselamatan, mungkin dari segi binatang ke, mungkin ada dari serang yang bahaya ke, itu pun dari segi keselamatan. Dan juga mungkin ada penyakit dadah ke, mungkin ada orang yang tidak ada tempat tinggal ke dan dia tinggal di situ pun ada juga. Dari segi banyaklah keselamatan. Jadi kesabaran menunggu hasil tanaman tu begitu juga, ada orang tak sabar tapi memang perlukan masa sebab kita perlukan juga kalau pokok-pokok tanaman dapur ni mesti hari-hari kita menjirus, kita tak boleh biarkan. Kalau musim hujan tak apalah, tapi kalau musim panas memang selalu, kalau tidak akan mati. Okey, jadi memulakan dahulu baru nanti kita banyak dapat bantuan. Kekurangan ilmu mengenai pertanian dan kekurangan kemahiran dan seperti yang sebut tadi, insyaAllah kita akan cuba menghantar ahli kebun kita untuk meningkatkan ilmu dan kemahiran pertanian. Seterusnya pandemik COVID-19 inilah yang memberhentikan aktiviti kebun macam setahun lebih. Jadi masuknya tahun lepas sebulan 7 tu kita masuk balik, masuk dia 4 terus. Jadi itulah cabaran kita masa pandemik, kita memang tak dapat keluar. Okay, next. Kita ada satu lagi slide. Okay. Rancangan ni seperti saya juga dah sebut, sekarang ni kita dah mengadakan jawatan kuasa KBSB dan kita adakan tanaman secara lebih terancang. Kita akan adakan lebih terancang dan insyaAllah kita cuba mendaftar kebun ni supaya kita akan ada tabung kita sendiri ni. Jadi kita akan cuba menangi award dan mana tahu satu hari kita akan satu kebun contoh. Inilah rancangan kita selepas COVID-19 dan alhamdulillah kalau lihat apa yang kita telah lakukan, dan saya jemputlah rakan-rakan semua untuk melawat tempat kita untuk melihat inisiatif rakan-rakan saya yang lain. Okay, next. Okay, dari segi apa yang kita lakukan di kebun Bandar Sungai Bonus ini, tanpa sedarnya kita telah menyumbang kepada pembangunan lestari pada abad 21 dalam aspek sosial persekitaran. Jadi menyumbang kepada kesejahteraan dan keceriaan persekitaran komuniti bandar yang menyebabkan kita rasa bangga dan sayang kepada alam sekitar kita. Di sekarang ni kita tidak menjamin pendapatan, tetapi mana tahu satu hari kita KBSB juga boleh menjana pendapatan. Tapi kalau kebun bandar yang lain, mereka mempunyai penduduk tetap, jadi mereka boleh menjana pendapatan. Jadi dapat daripada pendapatan membantu komuniti macam kita. Cuma kalau kita mendapat pokok-pokok yang kita daripada kebun tu kita tak perlu belilah, dan juga kita sayur-sayuran tu bebas daripada inilah perkara-perkara inilah, bebas lah. Okey, menyalur bantuan dan kemudahan asas tu daripada pihak-pihak yang seperti sebut tadi, dan dengan adanya kebun bandar Sungai Bonus ini dan juga kebun bandar yang lain yang dia 35 kebun bandar lain di Kuala Lumpur akan melahirkan masyarakat yang mempunyai ilmu dalam bidang pertanian dan penjagaan alam sekitar serta sungai bagi pastilah untuk mencapai kecemaran diri dan juga seterusnya negara. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you, Hasnita, for your very inspiring and interesting sharing session. Is there any question from the floor that would like to ask Hasnita? If not, then we will continue with the next panelist because our program is going to end on 5 p.m. We will continue with Edison, and then after that, if there's any question for Puan Hasnita, we can have it after Edison's presentation. Our second panelist is for today is Mr. Edison Rickert. He has a bachelor degree in library science and a master degree in information management from UITM Shah Alam. For the past 23 years, he has worked as a librarian in several library settings, such as in a special library like the Institute Bang Bang Malaysia and also the Bursa Malaysia Berhad. And in academic library, he has worked in Taylor's University, and at present he's attached to the Pustaka Negeri Sarawak as the Information Services Division Manager. Without further ado, you'd like Edison to share your inspiring session with the floor. Thank you.
Edison, kita tak dengar Edison.
Edison, can you unmute?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Puan Chin, for the introduction. Thank you, PTM, for inviting me for this prestigious program today. It's an honor for me to stand in front of you virtually to deliver a presentation. The topic of my presentation today is reading seeds. Yeah, about family literacy initiative of Sarawak State Library, Pustaka, known as Reading Seeds. Okay. Reading Seeds is an early childhood literacy and developmental program for families with young children. Okay. Can I have my slides on the... Okay. So this Reading Seeds program actually has been the first Southeast Asian story that is recognized as an early childhood education in line with the Sustainable Development Goal SDG and published on the Library Map of the World on the 20th of February 2022. So before I proceed with my presentation, I would like to show a few minutes of presentation. What is Reading Seed all about? Over to you, Farah. Next slide, Farah. Okay, these are the video that I want to share this afternoon.
Hai bapa semua serta permata hati anda yang disayangi sekalian. Sebentar lagi kami akan berkongsi dengan anda mengenai Kid Reading Seeds. Little Readers Treasure Box ini direka khas bagi memupuk minat membaca di kalangan anak-anak seawal mungkin serta menyokong perkembangan awal literasi dan fizikal si kecil. Kit ini mengandungi satu set kad pencapaian bayi, satu set kad imbasan hitam putih, carta pencapaian perkembangan kanak-kanak, permainan bongkah kayu, papan sentuhan deria, 3 buah buku pembelajaran dui bahasa bertajuk abjad, nombor, bentuk dan warna dan anggota badan saya. 1 buah buku bacaan beraksi dui bahasa bertajuk Saya Boleh. 4 buah buku cerita kanak-kanak dui bahasa bertajuk Kasih Sayang, Harapan dan Impian, Saya Sayang Keluarga Saya, Ambrose dan Kawan-Kawan dan Impian Saya. Set wayang kulit, carta ketinggian, poster profil bayi, buku modul ibu bapa sebagai rakan membaca dan langkah-langkah untuk muat turun aplikasi Mi Books Plus. Catatkan dan ambil gambar bayi anda bersama kad pencapaian bagi mengabadikan detik-detik indah si kecil anda. Catatkan perubahan ketinggian dan butiran si kecil anda dengan carta ketinggian dan poster profil bayi. Memperkenalkan si kecil kepada bentuk yang mudah dengan menggunakan kad imbasan hitam putih. Gunakan carta pencapaian perkembangan anak ini melalui bongkar kayu sebagai panduan perkembangan dan pencapaian si kecil anda. Contohnya, anda akan dapat melihat senyuman anak anda seawal 6 minggu. Lihat mereka menyusun dari 3 bongkah kayu pada usia 18 bulan. Dan lihat keupayaan mereka melompat dengan menggunakan hanya 1 kaki pada usia 4 tahun. Mempelajari abjad, nombor, bentuk, warna dan anggota badan dalam bahasa Inggeris dan bahasa Malaysia dengan buku pembelajaran. Membaca sambil beraksi dengan si kecil anda dan perhatikan perkembangan mereka melalui buku Saya Boleh. Mulakan pengembaraan membaca untuk anak anda dengan 3 buah buku cerita dui bahasa, Ambrose dan Kawan-Kawan, Kasih Sayang, Harapan dan Impian dan Saya Sayang Keluarga Saya yang dihasilkan oleh penulis dan pelukis tempatan. Galakkan si kecil untuk menceritakan impian mereka berasaskan ilustrasi sahaja melalui buku Impian Saya. Berhibur dengan set wayang kulit sambil mengenal haiwan, bentuk yang mudah dan juga karakter yang mudah difahami. Modul untuk ibu bapa ini direka khas untuk ibu bapa bagi memahami menjalankan aktiviti yang meningkatkan literasi dan perkembangan si kecil mereka di rumah. Bukan itu sahaja, sebahagian daripada program Reading Seeds dengan kerjasama Perpustakaan Negara Malaysia serta semua perpustakaan awam negeri, anda juga akan menerima aplikasi Mi Books Plus yang mengandungi lebih daripada 300 judul buku kanak-kanak. Semua buku tersebut dilengkapi dengan audio, suara naratif dan kesan bunyi serta suara yang boleh dirakam. Sila imbas kod QR di belakang modul ibu bapa dan muat turun aplikasi dari Apple App Store atau Google Play Store. Masuk aplikasi dan klik Join and get 2 weeks free. Kemudian cipta akaun baru dengan email dan kata laluan anda. Untuk mengaktifkan akaun aplikasi Mi Books Plus anda secara percuma selama setahun, kembali semula ke laman web tadi, masukkan email yang didaftarkan dan kod pengaktifan yang telah disediakan di belakang modul ibu bapa. Mudah sahaja. Pilih salah satu buku dan tekan butang berwarna pelangi. Klik pada mana-mana karakter atau ayat di dalam laman buku untuk mendengar narasi oleh pelakon bersuara profesional.
Di saat aku membuka mata untuk kali pertama, segalanya kelihatan kabur.
Untuk merakam suara naratif anda sendiri, lakarkan sebuah bentuk dan tekan lama pada bentuk tersebut untuk merakam suara anda.
Butterfly. Butterfly.
Jadilah seorang pencerita yang lebih berimajinasi. Kami berharap anda dan si kecil anda memperolehi manfaat hasil daripada bacaan bersama dengan kit Reading Seeds ini, sekaligus memupuk minat membaca untuk generasi yang akan datang.
Okay, Pustaka has been supporting lifelong learning since the existence of Pustaka. The project actually started as early as year 2000, 2002, where we benchmark Born to Read program, Singapore Library Board. So over the years, the program have been evolved from Born to Read to Every Child Ready to Read until today. We rebrand it into a reading seed program. So this is for those who have never been to Pustaka. This is I'd like to show. I take this opportunity to show our library how it look from the lake. Within our premises, we serve as a university, a cultural social center for the community through our collection, our facility for education and social event at our park. Yeah, next. Our outreach and community engagement services help bridge the gaps for the community to experience challenges in accessing traditional services. Among other initiatives, we focus on information and technology, literacy for rural community, powered by our product, Pustaka in a Box. We teach the community how to use technology to access the free electronic material for social and economic purposes. And our Maker Space Movement program gives them opportunity to participate in technology-based activity. And we also contribute early literacy through our statewide reading seed program. Okay, next. So we operate under the Sarawak State Library Ordinance 1999 with two statutory functions as a state library and a state depository. Okay, we support environment that foster knowledgeable society and lifelong learning. The depository function entrusts us with the leadership role to secure the future, both physical and digital record for the state heritage. And we provide consultancy service on the provision of library services and coordinate training program for 230 public library under the local authority. Okay, next. In this presentation, I will cover three main points. First, our dream. Second, our responsibility. Thirdly, our task. Fourth, our journey. Fifth, reading seed. Six, collaborators. Seven, our ecosystem. Eight, target achievement. And nine, what next? And lastly, collective responsibility. That will be overall structure of my presentation. And let's now move on with the first point. First, I would like to talk about next. This program was first initiated for the community in Sarawak, Malaysia. Was later in 2019 adopted by National Library as National Reading Project. So the main objective of this program are to stimulate early literacy development concurrent to the development of a baby, physical and cognitive growth. Program objectives are to instill the love of reading among children starting from home. Okay. Number two, to equip a parent with reading tools and knowledge. Three, to equip parents with knowledge and tools on tracing their child development growth. And lastly, to create a sustainable community-based early literacy program. Okay. And our dream that the reading seeds is to empower parents at home to take charge of their little one on the development at home by providing reading material, developmental awareness. Okay, reading seeds program is an early intervention family literacy program that are developed by Pustaka. This reading seed program aims to embed the reading habits in the idea, custom, and social behavior, creating nation of reading society. And our responsibility, embedding reading habits early in children growth years is undeniable that a children reading skill are important to their success in school, work, and life in general. So it's very possible to help ensure your child's success by reading them starting at a very early age. Yeah, continue reading to learn more about the top benefit of reading to children and how reading can support them for the future. So our task is to instill a child love of reading from young age and supporting early literacy development of lifelong learning. A child first few years are also a critical time in the development of lifelong literacy during a child passion for reading and storytelling can be developed easily and effortless. Its stated purpose to provide positive language literacy influence for young children through supporting parent as their children's first teacher. Okay, next. For the moment or your first child is born, the parent become a teacher, first teacher, although not a formally qualified one. Whether you like it or not, you instantly become your first child and most influential coach. From day one, your child will look to you so much in life, and that you do matter more than what you say. Yeah, they will use your actions as a guide to make sense of the words around them and develop skill to take them further in life as they grow. Yeah. Next, the Reading Seed program is a continuation of the Born to Read program, which was implemented by Pustaka since 2011. Through Reading Seed program, Pustaka introduced early literacy in the early stages of a child life by engaging mother who play a major influence in their child critical time in the development of their lifelong literacy. From 2000 to 2016, the State Library have implemented 3 phases of the Family Literacy Initiative. Phase 1 is the Born to Read from 2001 to 2011. Phase 2, Every Child Ready to Read from 2012 to 2015. And Phase 3, Reading Seed until the present day, yeah, Phase 4. And lastly, Nationwide Reading Seed in 2019. Adopted by National Library of Malaysia. Pustaka launched the Reading Seed program in 2016 by handing out kits to newborn babies to government hospital and health clinic in Sarawak. Okay, what insights Reading Seed Kids 3.0? Okay, next. It consists of reading parental guide for books, reading books to help little one expand their vocabulary. 4 book on story books in English in Bahasa Malaysia, revolving around Malaysia culture and diversity. Shadow play set, black white flashcards, sensory board, baby milestone card, baby profile poster, bilingual books on alphabet and on number, shapes, and colors, Me Book apps, audio interactive digital library with 400 children books, yeah, and development wooden blocks. 4 set of storybook in English and Malay, high chart, baby development milestone chart, information about local library resources and addresses, 20 lullaby nursery rhyme for babies, for sleep, baby songs, and bedtime music, and library memberships. So our collaborator, yeah, to ensure that this program is impactful, Pustaka continue with the following agency. Yeah, Ministry of Women and Early Childhood and Community Wellbeing of Sarawak. We collaborate with Sarawak State Health Department, National Library of Malaysia, Ministry of Local Government and Housing Sarawak Library Division, and book supplier, book illustrator, volunteer. So this is our ecosystem, yeah, our ecosystem building the reading culture. Okay, next. Reading play an important part of lifelong learning, and this important skill should be developed as soon as child is born. So the more children read, the more thing that they will know, and the more confident they will gain. Yeah, when children develop the love of reading from young age, as they grow, they become more motivated to continue reading and learning. Expert highlight potential of reading and talking to infant are not just for language literacy development, but also for aspect of cognitive development. Next. So these are the program that been launched at the National Library in 2019, October 2019. So pregnant mothers, parents, or newly born babies are those with toddler age of 3 years old and caregiver will be given initial startup of reading seats, reading and development kits through community-based reading workshop trainings. Okay, next. This is to help the skill required to raise independent reading and lifelong learning for their child. Okay, the kit was developed by a team which comprised of doctors, psychologists, counselor, early childhood educator, creative professional like illustrator, author, and librarian. Next. So these are the ecosystem of our reading seat. So target achievement, independent reading. So independent readings is children reading of text such as book, magazine, newspaper on their own with minimal to no assistance from adults. So lifelong learning. This is why your child should become a lifelong learner. Never stop learning, because life never stop teaching. Commit to lifelong learning. The most valuable assets you will ever have in your mind and what you put it into it. So next, this brings us to the first reason why lifelong learning is extremely important development of your children. Yeah. So what next? So in terms of technology assisted workshop and product, we also make the module, the program available through e-learning platform, meaning that mothers, caregiver can participate our program through e-learning platform. They can just enroll freely. Once they completed the 12 modules in the in the e-learning platform, they can claim our reading seat kits at our campuses in Kuching, Cebu, and Miri, and all the public library in Sarawak. So they're our agent to implement the program as well. Okay. So the next one is technology assisted program. Is we are in the we are also work with our collaborator and also developer, where the we will get the program to be in apps, meaning that parents who are interested the program, they can register through the apps. Still, this is in our pipeline, that all the information, the big data of the parent beneficiary who benefit the program, who like to participate this program, can enroll and also can participate this program through an apps. Yeah, it's two physical and also digital big data. So the apps can monitor the progress of the child as they grow from day one until 3 years old. Okay. So number two is the impact study, effectiveness of the reading seat program. And also from time to time, we always do a continuous improvement on the reading seat kits and program. Okay, next. In line with Sarawak Government Digital Initiative, we also, the global COVID pandemic, the Sarawak State Library is offering an online learning course that promote early childhood literacy, digital inclusivity, awareness, and skill among Sarawakian. So these are the first, I think, first recipient who successfully completed her e-learning module on the reading seats on the e-learning platform. So following her completion, the entire program of the module, Madam Phyllis received a reading seat kit from Pustaka, I think on 23rd of October 2022. I think this was we are still in a lockdown, yeah, with COVID, right? So we cannot do the program physically. So our parent or the parents can join the program virtually, yeah, instead face-to-face program or workshop with them. So I think our organizer will show the link. If those are interested, they can participate these free online courses on reading seat and participate the program there through our e-learning platform. Okay. So parents are invited to participate in reading seat e-learning program for free at this openlearning.com/pustaka/reading seed. Yeah. So parent who successfully completed all reading seed activity module will receive an e-certificate, yeah, to prove that they have completed the entire module, and reading seed can be claimed at the respective library that I mentioned earlier. To make the claim, they have to bring along their certificate and baby health record books. Yeah? So in terms of these are the module, the 12 module. So next, in terms of distribution, our statewide distribution point is via through our Sarawak State Library in HQ, Cebu, and Miri campuses. Okay, next slide, please. 47 public library, 215 village library, 42 digital community centers statewide. Okay, so how to apply this? So they can just register an account, completed all the question, then they will have an e-certificate to receive with them. Yeah. And how to get this claim? They just print the e-certificate, bring along the health record for baby and child to State Library, Kuching, Miri, Cebu, to claim their own reading treasure box. Okay, so next. So these are the statewide 5 years programs from 2021 to 2020. 25. Yeah, phase one will be consist of uh, from 2021 to 2022, phase 2 2023 to 2024, phase 3 will be 2025. So the Sarawak State Library plan to distribute around 45,000 reading seed kits free for free to promote early literacy and reading culture among newborn in the state over the first 5 years. Okay, next. Okay, next. So these are the program that, okay, and then next, collective responsible raising reader together. So in terms of impact study, we also collaborate with university previous slide please, previous slide. Also we collaborate with University Technology Malaysia, University UiTM, for the impact study, and the preliminary impact study shows that those who are the recipient of the reading seed much have a different impact compared to those who haven't received the reading seed kit. So there's a difference in terms of comparison between toddler who don't receive the reading seed kit and toddlers who have never exposed to the reading seed, and also compared to a toddler who have been exposed to the reading seed kits. Okay, next. So this, I think this one is the slide then presented how the curation process with IFLA. I think I'm not going to, I will skip that. So next. So collective responsibility, raising reader together. Reading is a collective responsibility, the key for lifelong learning. And you can instill a love of reading at an early age, then a commitment to lifelong learning is sure to follow. Yeah, reading aloud present books as such a source of pleasant, valuable, and exciting experience. Children who value book are motivated to read on their own and will likely to continue to practice independent reading throughout the rest of their life. So when it's come to reading to your children, the benefits to your children life range far beyond the development of a close bond with them. Although there's certainly one of them, reading aloud to children is truly a single most important activity for building this understanding and skill essential for reading success, and that you will carry on with them all throughout their life. So before I will end my presentation, Farah, can you show the video that how to join the reading seat through the e-learning platform?
Hai semua, hari ini saya akan berkongsi tentang cara mendaftar e-pembelajaran Reading Seed dan langkah menyertai modul pembelajaran. Untuk langkah pertama, buka enjin carian seperti Google dan type Open Learning Reading Seed. Kemudian, klik pada pautan paling atas. Selepas itu, klik pada butang Join Now. Untuk langkah kedua, di sini anda akan diberi pilihan sama ada menggunakan Microsoft, Facebook atau akaun email. Tapi sebaiknya saya sarankan anda untuk menggunakan akaun email. Langkah ketiga, anda diminta untuk mengisi butiran lengkap sebelum memulakan modul pembelajaran. Pembelajaran ini mengandungi 12 modul. Setiap modul haruslah dilengkapkan dan anda juga harus membuka setiap audio yang disertakan dalam modul. Selepas habis setiap modul, anda dikehendaki untuk memberi komen. Untuk semua modul pelajaran, anda dikehendaki untuk mengisi maklumat penilaian. Akhir sekali, anda akan memperolehi e-sijil setelah selesai semua modul e-pembelajaran. Kiranya anda mempunyai anak berumur 3 tahun ke bawah, anda boleh menuntut Kids Reading Seat di mana-mana cawangan pustaka yang berdekatan. Anda dikehendaki untuk membawa sijil dan buku rekod kesihatan anak untuk tuntutan. Selamat mencoba!
With that video, that is the end of my talk for today. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Over to you, Puan Chin.
Reading program. Is there any question from the floor that would like to go to Edison or to Hasnita? If there's no question, I would just like to forward a question to Mr. Edison regarding, we have seen a lot of this accompanying material in your reading seat program, like the e-learning video and also your treasure box. Are these been developed? Is it treasure box or do you call that?
Reading, we call reading reading seed kits. Yeah.
Reading seed kit. So these kits are being developed by Pustaka, or you do in collaboration with any other agency, or how to actually develop all these very interesting kits?
Yeah. So the key is we collaborate with expert. We collaborate with two doctors, medical doctors, and two early childhood expert, the late Dati Razia and Dr. Zaliha. And also we work with illustrator, our local illustrator, author, and because when we would like to purchase a book, books, particular overseas books, it costs one book like 150 ringgit, yeah, UK book. So it's not cost efficient for us to buy the book. So we plan that we develop our own. So the copyright is belong to Pustaka. So we work with all these. You can see earlier in my slide, the ecosystem. We collaborate with the doctors or with the early childhood expertise. We do a workshop. We do the content of the books, the wooden development books, the modules, and also the various accompanying material that we developed for this project. So it helped us to reduce the cost. Yeah, when we develop in-house and we publish our own, so it actually helped us to publish and also produce more of the reading kits. So more of the kits can be distributed to parent or caregiver in guardian in Sarawak. So for the next step is we try to digitize it. Like for example, the module, the Punchin, if you notice, there's a module of the ready seat. We plan to digitize it, make it available through an apps. Meaning that we don't have to we save costs in terms of having the physical module, but instead we make it available digitally through the app. So it also, this is the next step, the next way forward, because we can't we try to reduce the cost and produce more. So it's a collaboration between super apps and also between the physical. The physical might be reduced. Mainly, we will shift it into a digital kind of thing. So parents who are interested, they can register through the apps, and we can monitor the progress of the baby through the apps as they're growing up from 0 to 3 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And now we are moving toward the post-pandemic. Yeah, maybe this would be a good approach to the all our what called the community towards more accessible to all this information and kits for
Correct.
them.
Yes.
Yes, making it more accessible. Thank you very much, Edison. And once again, congratulations and to you and also Pustaka Negeri Sarawak for having the first SDG story being published in the Library Map of the World under the SDG stories. Edison. Okay, Hasnita, maybe I would also pose a question regarding. You mentioned that there were a lot of very. I think your crops that you planted, you have a lot. Each one, the stakeholder, they have their own plot of land, if I understand correctly. So they plant their own vegetable or whatever crops that they have, and then you have it's very productive. And do you plan to have this crop being used as a donation to all these NGOs around KL instead of you having it distribute among your people who participate in the program?
Okay. Thank you, Puan Chin. At the moment, we use it among the members because as you can see now, the weather is not very good. The raining and whatnot, and the commitment as well. So the one that we have, we distribute among our members. So if we have apa tu, like papaya or whatever, we put in the WhatsApp group and ask them to come and collect lah.
Those who are
Maybe in
involved in
maybe in future, if we serious about this, we have a big project, for example, macam like bernama we are looking at Roselle kan, we can give the Roselle or the gem or what and give to as a giving to others lah, to the society around us. That is our planning lah. But at the moment, we distribute among our members as well. And as I just want to add something that with all the stakeholders, like only three is among the librarianship environment lah. Is that Librarians Association of Malaysia, bernama MMBPY. So that's the reason why we are pursuing for IFLA to accept this project lah, because we are the library and we are pursuing the educational thing is like a new entity in the garden, because when I with the rest of the members of the garden, they're like, what is long learning thing kan, they do not know. They always say garden is everything about planting the crop, but when we join their team, they realize that wow, we need to have we need to get good skill. We have to have have to have knowledge about the agriculture in order for us to have a good garden. That's the reason why we go for the lifelong learning and try to make it a very something that is important to the garden environment.
Yes, thank you, Hasnita. I see there's a lot of participation. I mean, even though during the pandemic, I see a lot of people still attend physically at your activities. I think that's congratulations. You're able to attract people to still come and join your activities, and it's not conducted online, like most of the.
It's something good that we don't force people to come. If they love gardening, they will join us. That's the beauty of it. Then we have friends, and it's like a therapy for us to join the activities.
Yes, thank you, Asmita. It's well done to all these urban garden and also to Edison. I think it's 5 o'clock already. We will end the session today. If there is any question, you can post to the Pustakawan 55. We'll try to answer through the email or through the WhatsApp to anyone. Any soalan or any question?
Satu Puan Chin.
This one
Yes.
soalan Puan Chin.
Yes, selain dari
Selain daripada-
perkongsian ilmu pada petang ni, apakah seri lain yang dirancang untuk program SDG ini? Yes, we do have 2 SDG program coming up. It will be in May and also in June. 13th of May, we will have the second series with invitation to Perbadanan Perpustakaan Awam Perlis and also Pustakaan USIM. For the next third series, we will have it on the 3rd of June. We will be inviting University Technology Malaysia Library and also Perbadanan Perpustakaan Awam Selangor. We will be looking forward to hearing from all these 4 institutions or libraries in May and in June. And then Halima, thank you for PPM for this SDG success story, and thank you for attending this SDG program, Puan Halima.
Puan Chin, mungkin kita boleh invite kalau ada perpustakaan yang berminat untuk sharing ya. Boleh
Yes.
hubungi Puan Chin kan?
Yes, those who are interested in sharing would have. We have one question. We like to have the kid, but my daughter is already 13 years old. Is this still eligible?
Oh no, the criteria is 3 years below.
3 years below.
From womb 3 till 3 years old. Yeah,
Oh, that is even up to 3 years old.
Yes,
Is
only
it
3 years
possible to
old.
purchase it?
No, it's not for
No.
sale. Unfortunately, it's not for sale.
For sale, so it's only up to 3 years old, the kid.
3 years old.
Aslina, so it's only for 3 years old, below 3 years. 3 years and below, the kids is available. Okay, so thank you very much all of us for sharing the session today. Must have a new baby, she said.
Yes,
Yes, yes, that's a very good
yes,
one.
please.
Yeah, must have a new, must have more babies so we
More
can have
babies. We need
addition
more
this
babies.
reading kids. Yes,
Uh,
good. That's very good. So, okay, it's already 5 p.m. and we thank everyone for spending their afternoon with us today. And we hope that you have a very good session and we have learned something from this series. And we hope that you'll join us again in the next two series that's going to be held in May and June. With this, I wish everyone selamat menyambut bulan Ramadan. Okay, so all the best and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much, everyone, and bye.
Bye.